Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another My Sims 4 wishlist video, where I talk about features that I would like to see in the game and how I think they should be given to us. So the past couple of episodes have been more object-based. I wanted to do something a little bit different this time, and I thought about how much I want multifunctional lots, because with the recent worlds that have come with recent packs being really small, I think these are becoming more important of a request. This way we could fit in more venues and even hybrid residential and venue lots into our worlds and do it with less space. For example, I have this really great lot called Palm Sparkling Springs from and Set for Sims, and it is classified as a nightclub, but when you actually take a look at what it has, it can be a lot more than just a nightclub. It has a pool, it has a little spa, and it has even a cafe upstairs. Even though they still give us the option to manually hire NPCs for certain objects that we want to use, I don't see why that has to be a thing. It just seems weird. It just seems weird to have money come out of our Sims pockets just to have a fully functional lot. And then those NPCs are only around for a couple of hours, I think, and then they leave. So then you have to hire them again if you plan on staying for even like half a day or more. So I find that to be very inconvenient still. Like, imagine in real life if you went to a gym and then it had a Starbucks in it, but then you see a sign when you go up to the Starbucks and it says, oh, actually you gotta pay $100 to hire a barista and then they will serve you. And then you still gotta pay for the food and drinks that you want to order. Doesn't make that much sense to me. Thankfully, there are a few specific cases where it still kinda works as a multifunction lot. If you have a gym, it is still possible to have that special yoga mat for the yoga instructors to come. They will still come to a gym venue even though it's not classified as a spa, but I think there needs to be way more of this sort of stuff. I think this would especially come in handy if you are making a mall, since that does have a lot of different types of things in it. So I think it should be possible to have at least 3 or 4 types of a lot per lot instead of just one. Another good example of where I think multifunctional lots would come in handy is if I want to have a retail business that is on the first floor, and then on the second floor you actually have the living quarters, because as you can see I do have that with this pet shop, and then right above you do have a kitchen and a bedroom and a bathroom. So I can almost pull this off already. The problem is that if I want to pay my bills, then I still have to go home to do that. And say if I had my business owner still working another job on the side, especially if they had to go to a rabbit hole, then you still have to go back to your home lot to do that so they can disappear into the rabbit hole. So it's not a perfect solution. So I think it would be really great if it was possible to make it so that we could have those, just like we could in The Sims 2. But I'm going to take this one step farther. I would also love it if we had the ability to make it so that multiple playable families could live on one lot. I am beginning to understand why some people want an NPC roommate function, especially if it meant that those NPC roommates do not take up a household slot. So for example, you could have a family of 8 Sims just go right up to that limit, but then you could still have maybe up to 3 or 4 NPC roommates. There's still a bit of a cap for performance, but at least you could still have more Sims living on your lot at the same time. But I still want to be able to create the roommates myself in Create a Sim. I don't want to have to redo an existing sim, and I think it would be nice to have a couple or more families living on one lot, especially if it is something like this, where you have a duplex or you just have multiple houses on the same lot, or a trailer park. Both the last example that you saw and this one are in Little Simsy Save in Del Sol Valley, and I think it would be really cool if it was possible to just play with one of these houses at a time and the Sims that are meant to live in there. And I think there would still maybe have to be one sort of drawback, because I don't know if the game could still display the other two households running at the same time, or if it would have to be more like the apartment system in City Living, so the Sims would be invisible while they're still in their houses, but you could still see them walking out of the house to go to work or just play around in their backyard, stuff like that. Then this could also be another way of fitting more than 8 Sims into one lot. It is pretty lucky that the Sims living in these houses are really no more than 2 Sims per family, in air quotes, since, yeah, that's pretty much how this household works. But then, if I want to have even bigger families per lot, then it would get more complicated, and then more so if I want to add cats and dogs into the mix. But then how do you designate which house starts and where it ends, and then where does the next one start and end? So you probably have to have either some sort of smart tool in build mode that detects a whole house, or just have a click and drag function. From there, then you could mark it as house 1 or house 2, and then you can decide what Sims live in there. It already is possible to view different households within the same building in San Myshuno with the apartment shells, so hopefully they could still pull off something similar with houses. As for how this stuff would be added into the game, it would have to be through a free update. It would not make any sense whatsoever to just limit this to a certain pack, because this is something that is aimed at the core game that would affect every lot type that is currently in the game, and any more that would be added in the future. And that wraps up another episode of My Sims 4 Wishlist. So feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Would you like to see multi-function lots in The Sims 4? And if you do, what sort of lots do you want to make? And be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest content from The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!